start us off with an opening statement, and we'll take questions. Coach.
Yeah, well, obviously it was an exciting game. Glad we came out of it with a win. Told our team to make sure that, I told our team to remember we don't take any of them for granted. Good, bad, ugly. You take it, you don't give it back, and you try to learn from it and move forward. Obviously, Memphis did a great job. They play so hard, and we knew that coming in. And I think we had big challenge in front of us today, and at the end of the game found a way to get a win.
Start out with Maria.
Coach, your players said that halftime was quite short and quite direct, and they got the message. What was that message at halftime?
I thought we were playing timid, and I thought we were playing not as tough as I wanted to play. And obviously that brings me to my next point. Not having Ria Jackson on the court. She has a lower leg injury. And not having her out on the court is a blow to them. But I think that's where they've got to find themselves, and they've got to understand that they can make plays, which I think they believe that. But what she gives them is confidence. She gives them an air, and not just confidence in her, but in each other. And that's what we were missing, especially in that first half.
Casey.
How much did Sarah Puckett's physicality factor into the overall success today?
I think Sarah was a warrior, and she played a lot. She did some good things on both ends of the court, and needed to be a go-to player for us, and obviously she stepped up and did that. I'm really proud of her.
We'll go next to Cora, followed by Matt and Jack.
You guys had a 9-point lead with 3 minutes left. Looked like you had taken control of the game late. The game 2-point lead with 12 seconds left. Game that really shouldn't have gone to overtime. In terms of game management late, where are the issues that you've seen, and where do you feel like that the team needs to extend?
Yeah, we could go through. I know they're play by play. It's just the mistakes that we made. So we've got to go back through those. I'm not going to call every one of them out right now, but we've got several mistakes that we'll just have to go back through and watch. And just the savvy that you have to have down the stretch wasn't always there. Now, we obviously, at times it was, and so that's good, but it wasn't consistently there, and that's where our growth can be.
Matt, Jack, and then Madeline.
Coach, 18 turnovers at Florida State, 24 tonight. What's been the cause of this early season issue?
I think it's a little bit different. Both games, the way the games were played were a little bit different. Tonight, I thought we got a little bit on our heels. I didn't think we had that same feel against Florida State, so I felt like it was a very different game. But tonight we're on our heels and became passive, and you can't be passive when people are going to get up and guard you, especially full court.
Jack.
What changes at halftime did you make to combat Memphis shooting the free so much early?
Well, we emphasized it again, and I thought we did a much better job of trying to find that urgency to guard. We made a couple schematic changes, switched our defenses a couple of times. Even in our man, made some tweaks out there. Several times our ball screen defense and our help defense. But I thought for the most part our players did a nice job with the changes that we made.
Madeline.
Coach, you've talked about wanting to improve your rebounding. How did you feel with 56 tonight, that number?
Yeah, I thought our offensive boards were good. I thought, we were pretty physical in there. We had a spell in the second half where we didn't get to the boards there. For us, we gave up too many offensive boards, but I do think that's one of Memphis's strengths. They do a great job of just bringing the house and using their athleticism and their mobility to track down basketballs. So I thought there in the second half we let too many get away on the defensive end.
Maria.
Two things. Ria, was she able to practice this weekend, or was that injury after the Florida State game? And last week was a packed week. A 1-point loss that I'm sure took a toll on the team. You now don't play again until Sunday. How much does this team need practice time and maybe a little downtime at the same time?
Yeah, we need both, and that's the good thing about this week. We can get both. We can get some good solid practices in, but also really rest them, especially after some really tough games. Rakia was actually in practice a little bit limited yesterday. She was in the shoot around today, so she's been in and out in the last couple days.
Cora.
Juliet Spear, 19 points, 12 rebounds, probably the best I've seen her rebound so far this season. Just how crucial was not only her poise down the stretch to get those layups, but also just her efforts on the board tonight.
Yeah, I thought Jewel, she was looking for her outside shot so much, but those last 2 drives to the basket were critical. May not win without them. And I thought she pulled down some really tough boards, and we've been talking to her about that. She was so proud of her 12 when she found out after the game that's what it was. We're proud of her. That's a huge step for her, and we just got to keep building on that.
Go next to John, followed by Casey.
Coach, you kind of alluded to it earlier, but you struggled to defend the 3 this year. You struggled to defend against in the first half. Do you feel confident enough in what you guys did in the second half that you can carry that moving into the next matchup?
Yeah, I think so. I think, our players just showed a little bit different urgency, I thought, in the second half defending, and they did not make a 3 in the fourth quarter or in overtime, so that was obviously a huge plus for us. Now, they got some layups, got some easy layups there, especially in that fourth quarter, but, we've got to be able to take the 3 away when we need to take it away.
Casey.
When the team came out for overtime, they almost looked like they had confidence about them. Do you credit that at all to Florida State going down to the wire and having that nail biter right away in the lessons that they might have learned from that?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm glad you said that. I didn't know where we were when we walked out on the court. I was trying to read them and determine where we were. I think that's hard. I think we were in position to win, made a couple mistakes, and now we're in overtime. And so, as much as I would have loved to have had a teaching moment and gone right into a few mistakes and the corrections we needed to make, that wasn't the time. And our focus literally in that timeout was to get them in the present, to not worry about any play that had just happened, to really, really focus on the present. And I think in that huddle we had some players that were great teammates, really picking each other up and encouraging one another. And I think going out there and making a play early was probably where they got that confidence.
Matt.
Coach, it seemed like you guys were working in the late shot clock for plenty of possessions. Was that just a matter of getting in your actions late, Memphis hounding you?
Yeah, I thought we, can't remember at what point in the fourth, I thought we took some quick shots that we probably didn't need to take due to time and score. And so then we started settling a little bit more. And I think that was probably good for us in that moment. We'd take some easy ones, but I think there you've got to really work and get a really good look. And so sometimes we got the look, sometimes we didn't. But I thought our pace was probably where it needed to be.
Maria, then Jack.
Coach, you got the defensive performance you needed from Jasmine Powell and the offensive performance you needed from Jillian Hollingshed. How much do you need both of them to lock in like that going forward?
Well, I thought Jillian really came alive there in the second half. We've got to have a presence down low. We didn't have that at all in the first half. I mean, we were shooting perimeter shots, and that's great, but we've got to have things to the basket. We've got to have paint touches off the dribble or off the pass, and Jillian gave us some of that in the second half. We need her to be a go-to player. And I think the great thing is she can be that. She can be that. And then Jasmine, the thing that we've been talking to her about was being that defensive player for us, and I think she took some pride in it. And hopefully she's excited about it. We got to get her where we need her, but everybody else has got to follow suit on both ends of the court for both of those players.
Jack.
Yeah. Memphis ran that full court press pretty often. What do you think Memphis did well with it, and how do you think your team did adjust to it as the game went on?
Yeah, I think when we did not handle the press, like I mentioned before, it was when we were passive. If you sit back and you're not aggressive and you're not attacking, it's so much easier to press and trap and fly around and make plays. But when you're attacking, it's just harder. And that's where we got to get a few more folks getting downhill. I know I mentioned to Destiny when she went in, I told her she had to get downhill. The second time she went back in the game, she did. She got the ball to the paint. So I think, it's really first off a mindset. Secondly, you got to have confidence in your ability to put the ball on the floor and find who's open.
Thank you, Coach.
Oh, thank you guys.